Hi, my name is Paige, and this is a free anxiety workshop. I would like to thank Dr. Terry A. Scott, clinical psychologist, for giving feedback and helping me compile this workshop. First of all, this is my Gold Award project, which is the highest award in Girl Scouts, and it consists of an 80-hour service project that must show leadership, solve an issue in the community, and be sustainable. It is considered by many to be the equivalent to a Boy Scout Eagle. I chose the topic of anxiety because I have anxiety myself and felt my experience and research could make a difference in the lives of others. So what will be covered in this workshop is what is anxiety, statistics on anxiety, an anxiety test, an anxiety toolbox, and we will also try 3 of these techniques throughout the workshop. So first of all, what is anxiety? I looked up the definition of anxiety, and this is what I found. Anxiety can be defined as a feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease, typically about an imminent event or something with an uncertain outcome or a desire to do something, typically accompanied by unease. Finally, the psychiatry definition, and the one we will be focusing on today, is a nervous disorder characterized by a state of excessive uneasiness and apprehension, typically with compulsive behavior or panic attacks. Now realize that stress can be good. It can motivate us and prevent us from being lazy. However, when it starts to affect how you live, then it becomes anxiety and a problem. A little history lesson. Our ancient ancestors' bodies adapted to respond to danger in one of these 3 ways: fight, flight, or freeze. It was a matter of survival. Fast forward to today, our bodies still respond to danger in one of these 3 ways, but instead of danger being a hungry lion, it is our own thoughts and perceptions. Some statistics on anxiety. Anxiety is the most common mental illness in the United States, affecting over 40 million Americans. It affects 25% of all teens and 30% of all teen girls. Experts are also seeing a rise in the level of anxiety and the incidence of anxiety disorders in both adults and teenagers. In addition, women are twice as susceptible as men to develop some form of anxiety. First of all or nothing thinking, also known as black and white thinking. Example, if I am not perfect, I have failed. Mental filter is when you only pay attention to certain types of evidence. Example, discounting the positives and focusing only on the negatives. Overgeneralization is when you see a pattern based upon a single event. Example, because you burnt dinner, you assume nothing good ever happens. In jumping to conclusions, there are 2 subcategories: mind reading, which is imagining we know what others are thinking, and fortune telling, which is predicting the future. Emotional reasoning is when you assume that because you feel a certain way, then what you think must be true. For example, I feel embarrassed, so I must be an idiot. Magnification is when you blow things out of proportion, and minimization is when you inappropriately shrink something to make it seem less important. Should and must thoughts make us feel guilty or like we have already failed. These thoughts include any of the words should or must. Labeling is when you assign labels to yourself or other people. Example, I'm a loser or they're an idiot. Personalization is blaming yourself or taking responsibility for something that wasn't completely your fault. Conversely, blaming other people for something that was your fault. The key to getting rid of these kinds of thinking is realizing what you are thinking. Then ask yourself some questions. Is this logical? Why am I thinking this? If I said these thoughts out loud, would they sound illogical? Would they be harmful to others? This takes practice, but eventually you will be able to analyze your thoughts and see the holes in their reasoning. Now, we are going to take the Burns Anxiety Inventory. The Burns Anxiety Inventory has been widely used and researched along with the Beck Anxiety Inventory. It is considered to demonstrate good reliability and validity. Overall, researchers have determined it a valid measure of anxiety. So please pause the video and number a lined piece of paper from 1 to 33. Directions. The following is a list of symptoms that people sometimes have. Write the number 0 to 3 next to each of the 1 through 33. To the space right of it that best describes how much that symptom or problem has bothered you during the past week. So for question 1, if you felt that symptom somewhat, you would put a 1 next to number 1. I'll read through the list, and feel free to pause the video at any time and take your time with this because it's very important. Category 1, anxious feelings, anxiety, nervousness, worry, or fear. Feeling that things around you are strange, unreal, or foggy. Feeling detached from all or part of your body. Sudden, unexpected panic spells. Apprehension or a sense of impending doom. Feeling tense, stressed, uptight, or on edge. Next. Category 2, anxious thoughts. Difficulty concentrating. Racing thoughts or having your mind jump from one thing to the next. Frightening fantasies or daydreams. Feeling that you are on the verge of losing control. Fears of cracking up or going crazy. Fears of fainting or passing out. Fears of physical illness or heart attacks or dying. Concerns about looking foolish or inadequate in front of others. Fears of being alone, isolated, or abandoned. Fears of criticism or disapproval. Fears that something terrible is about to happen. Next, category 3, physical symptoms. Skipping or racing or pounding of the heart, sometimes called palpitations. Pain, pressure, or tightness in the chest. Tingling or numbness in the toes or fingers. Butterflies or discomfort in the stomach. Constipation or diarrhea. Restlessness or jumpiness. Tight, tense muscles. A score of 0 to 4 means you have minimal or no anxiety. A score of 5 to 10 means you have borderline anxiety. A score of 11 to 20 means you have mild anxiety. A score of 21 to 30 means you have moderate anxiety. A score of 31 to 50 means you have severe anxiety. And a score of 51 to 99 means you have extreme anxiety or panic. If your anxiety is above mild anxiety, you should take action to protect yourself. Not all anxiety is bad. A certain amount of anxiety is useful, even indispensable. If you understand that it is a signal of impending danger, you can grasp its vital importance. When is danger ever entirely absent? So if you're facing a big decision, like buying a house or a car, or if you are choosing an investment, it makes sense to expect some anxiety, some insecure or stressful moments. It can be helpful, in fact, to alert your mind to the risk and provide the extra mental charge to think through your choices. Getting rid of all traces of anxiety would be like successfully dismantling your house's security system. Yes, things are quieter and more relaxed, but you won't know you're in trouble until it's too late. But then there can be too much anxiety. Your mind can be overwhelmed, unable to think. We sometimes call this panic, and it means that all we want to do is escape. The problem is that if the signal comes from inside, from something you have not adequately considered, there is no place to flee to. Moreover, the mind in panic is not able to think very well. Today, we are going to look at an anxiety toolbox. But first, what is an anxiety toolbox? An anxiety toolbox is a list or container of activities or objects that we call tools that help you relax when you are anxious. You need to make an anxiety toolbox in advance because when you are anxious, you probably will not be able to think too clearly. The toolbox reminds you of the strategies and things you know will help you. Now, what works for one person will not necessarily work for another. So to even start an anxiety toolbox, you need to find what works for you. We are going to look at a sample anxiety toolbox that I have compiled and practice some of the strategies. Please write down any of the strategies you feel will be helpful to you. Preventative measures. Although it's hard to prioritize, it is so helpful when you get some quality sleep or nap during the day. Limit sugar. Start thinking of alternative snacks you can have that don't have such a high level of sugars. Fruits and low-sugar baked goods are usually okay, and they often curb cravings. No caffeine. Jitters coffee causes almost guarantees anxiety for some people. If you can wean yourself but still want something warm to drink, try herbal tea. Drink water. Did you know dehydration is a huge cause of anxiety in many people? Keep your water intake up. Eat protein. Some people get shaky without protein. Make it a part of each meal and snack. Eating protein keeps your blood glucose levels steady, preventing mood changes. And make sure you get complete protein. The term complete protein refers to amino acids. There are 20 different amino acids that can form a complete protein, and 9 of those the body cannot produce on its own. In order for a protein to be complete, a protein must contain all 9 of these essential amino acids in roughly equal amounts. Some examples of a complete protein besides meat include quinoa, soy, buckwheat, and mycoprotein. Exercise. According to Oregon State University, 2-minute bursts of activity that add up to 30 minutes a day is as effective as a more structured 30-minute workout when it comes to improving cardiovascular health. In addition, experts have found that exercising relieves stress and helps a person go to sleep better that night. Know your triggers. This may take a while to figure out, but at least become aware of the fact that you should be watching for them. Some examples are low blood sugar, visual clutter, sensory overload, loud music or noises, and being overheated. Cognitive behavioral therapy. The concept behind CBT is that our thoughts about a situation affect how we feel, emotionally and physically, and how we behave in that situation. Dialectical behavior therapy. This type of therapy emphasizes individual psychotherapy and group skills training classes to help people learn and use new skills and strategies to develop a life that they experience as worth living. Eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. is a therapy designed to alleviate the distress associated with traumatic memories. Find your calm. What makes you calm? Not what do you think should make you calm? What makes you calm? You need to find your calm every day. Move slowly. When you're performing a task, make sure that is the only thing you're doing. Focus on it. Take your time. Do not focus on being done, focus on the doing. Let things take as long as they take without worrying about doing them faster. This takes practice. During a panic attack, the first technique we are going to try is called progressive muscle relaxation. We are now going to learn about progressive muscle relaxation. The author of this step says you can do this in a couple minutes or take your time and do it in about 20 minutes. The author also says you can do this in public, but is usually more effective when you're alone. So if you are in public, you can steal away to a restroom stall if possible. Directions are found in your packet for reference after this workshop. So first, sit or stand comfortably but straight. Close your eyes. If you do not feel comfortable closing your eyes, gently fix your gaze on a single spot on the floor. Then, take 3 deep breaths in and out through your nose, and continue breathing like this. Starting at your feet, you want to tense up your entire body and then relax when I read each of the body parts. So think of each body part as you do, and it's tense at first and then it relaxes. So step 6, very slowly think of, and it's already tense, and then relax them. Ankles, calves, shins, knees, thighs, hamstrings, bottom, abdomen, lower back, stomach, middle back, spine, chest, upper back, shoulders, upper arms, wrist, hands, fingers, neck, chin, tongue, eyes, forehead, top of your head. Now open your eyes. Do you feel relaxed? The author also suggests an optional step if you have more time, and that is going back down again. Overall, it'll become easier to focus and relax with practice. Next, we are going to learn about mind jars, and this is what they look like. Here are the instructions. How you use it is you shake up the jar after it's made and the glitter will spin wildly. Then you set it on a table or the floor and you calmly watch it until the glitter in your mind is all settled down. But why does it work? When you pay attention to your senses, you shift your focus away from your emotions and thoughts. Instead of worrying about the future or the past, you focus on your mind and reduce the brain chatter. Journaling. I use this technique a lot, usually before I go to bed. When you write things down, your mind can stop stressing and let thoughts go. Your hand cannot write as fast as your racing thoughts, causing them to slow down. Aromatherapy. I have an essential oil diffuser that I use when I am stressed or just as an air freshener. I also have a diffuser necklace, which is great because it doubles as perfume, and I can calm myself down by smelling the essential oil throughout the day. The most important thing to remember is to follow the directions on the bottle. Music. Make playlists that help reduce your anxiety. Personally, I like to listen to classical music to calm down and pop music to lift myself up. Creative outlets. Go do something that involves your hands and requires complete focus. Some examples are drawing, playing music, dancing, sewing, cooking, singing, gardening, etc. Yoga. Pranayama or yoga breathing prevents rapid shallow breathing, which can increase anxiety and make us feel more wired. A sauna will help release tension and stress that comes with anxiety. Some poses include child's pose, legs up the wall pose, savasana. These poses help most when done in a way that is soothing and nurturing. Meditation. An anxious mind is usually overactive and easily agitated. Meditation helps to slow down the mind, which has a calming effect on the entire mind-body complex. A regular practice will help you become familiar with your mind's particular patterns and triggers and allow you to reduce the impact your thoughts have on you. Now, this is not the stereotypical meditation. This is focusing your mind and being present. Take a break from whatever you are doing and make yourself some tea, read a book, eat a healthy snack, get a drink of water, go outside, etc. Pray. If you believe in a higher power, pray to it, him, her. In addition, participating in religious rituals may help in both prevention and duration of a panic attack. I know that my beliefs have helped me get through anxious times and helped me to relax. Breathing techniques. I personally like what I call the 15-second breathing technique. You breathe in for 5 seconds, hold for 5 seconds, and breathe out for 5 seconds. Remember to breathe into your belly, not your chest. Your belly should be moving when you're using this breathing technique. Let's try it. I'll count and breathe in and out and hold on my count. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let go. 2, 3, 4, 5. In. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let go. 2, 3, 4, 5. Most important thing to do is find a breathing technique that works for you. There's also another one we will try later in this presentation. Breathing is one of the most common techniques used in anxiety management. But why does it work? A belly breath causes the lungs to press down on the diaphragmatic wall, which in turn pushes down on the abdominal cavity. The squeezed abdomen spreads outward in front of the abdomen and the back, where it presses on the spine. This causes the abdominal cavity to put pressure on the longest cranial nerve, the vagus nerve, which runs all the way down from the brainstem and the spine. When pressed on, the vagus nerve quiets down and turns on the body's relaxation system. The relaxation system includes lowering the blood pressure, pulse rate and respiration, cleaning lactate from the blood. Lactate increases feelings of anxiety, increasing alpha brain waves and releasing serotonin, a feel-good neurotransmitter. Challenge the attack. If you feel an attack coming on, do not shy away from it. Acknowledge it and tell the attack that it's 20 seconds to start. After that, you plan on going on with your day. For minor attacks, this sometimes will stop them before they start. Breathing, 7-11. Use your diaphragm to breathe in for 7 seconds and out for 11. The idea is to make sure you expel all the air from your lungs before filling them back up. This prevents hyperventilation. Let's try this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. In. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Loosen your clothing. Take off any heavy jewelry and scarves. Remove heavy layers. Avoid wearing things like turtlenecks and other restrictive clothing. Limit social media. Even if you do not think it causes stress in your life, I guarantee it does. Make a commitment to do more living outside of the internet. Be present in your life. Don't go there. Make it a rule to not let your thoughts go to panic thoughts. Do not think of the future and the responsibilities you have. This takes practice. Realize what thoughts will turn your low level of anxiety into a high one. Instead of thinking trigger thoughts you could think over and over, do not go there. Have a mantra. A go-to phrase is nice during a panic attack. It is a calming thought that is readily available. One example could be, these are only uncomfortable feelings. They cannot hurt me. Time them. Your attacks will be pretty consistent timing-wise. When an attack starts, look at your watch. Talk it through. Find someone who will not just tell you to calm down. Find someone that will stay by you and work through your anxious moments. Stay where you are. Don't try to drive home. When you are in an elevated emotional state, it is dangerous. Get somewhere comfortable. Pacing a bit helps too. Observe. Ground yourself by making observations about the present. I feel the breeze. I smell. I hear. Do not fight. When you are sure an attack is inevitable, just accept it. Fighting it only tells your body to keep panicking. Your goal is to convince your body that it is not actually in a panic situation. You are trying to turn off the panic switch. Let the attack happen. And practice the above tips to bring your body back to stasis. Cost-benefit analysis. List the advantages and disadvantages of getting angry or upset in various situations and or having a specific mindset or attitude. Survey method. Do a survey to find out if your thoughts and attitudes are realistic. For example, if you believe that public speaking anxiety is abnormal, ask several friends if they have ever felt that way. Double standard technique. We are often much harder on ourselves than we are on others. Write down some negative thoughts and ask yourself, would I say this to a friend with a similar problem? Why not? What would I say to him or her? You will often discover that you have a compassionate set of standards that you apply to other people whom you care about, and a stern, harsh, unrealistic set of standards that you apply to yourself. Pleasure predicting method. Predict how satisfying various activities will be on a scale from 0% to 100%, and then after you complete each activity, record how satisfying it turned out to be. The technique can help you get moving if you feel lethargic. Vertical arrow technique. Instead of disputing your negative thoughts, write them down and draw a vertical arrow under it and ask yourself, if this were true, why would it be upsetting me? What would it mean to me? Thinking shades of gray. Instead of looking at things in black and white categories, evaluate them in shades of gray. For example, instead of thinking yourself as a total failure in a certain area of your life, you could ask yourself, what are my specific strengths and weaknesses? What are my positive qualities? What deficiencies could I work on? Ask yourself, and define your terms, what do I really mean by this? For example, if you call yourself a total loser, what is the definition of a total loser? Does this definition really make sense? Is there any such thing as a total loser? Be specific. Stick with reality and avoid global judgments about reality. Instead of thinking of yourself as totally defective, focus on your specific strengths and weaknesses. Acceptance paradox. Instead of defending yourself against your own self-criticism, find some truth in it and accept it. Ask yourself, if there's some truth in a criticism, can I learn from it? Can I accept the fact that my performance is not up to par? I have many deficiencies. I am a human being, and I am quite flawed. After an attack. Call in backup. If you can swing it, have someone take care of you or your responsibilities while you nap. Veg. If you do not have anyone to help, veg. Cancel whatever you can cancel and just take a mental health day. Going back at it when you do not need to will just increase your already fragile stress level. Really decide what is necessary and what you just feel like you need to do. Bare minimum node. While you recover, go into bare minimum node. No limit on TV. Foods that help anxiety. Blueberries, fatty fish, legumes, peaches, macaroni, acai berries, bananas, flaxseed, 100% whole grains, chamomile tea, kefir, almonds, leafy greens such as spinach, kale, and seaweed. Trying mixing lots of these in a smoothie each morning, and just eating well in general is also beneficial. Other resources. This list of apps is from the Anxiety and Depression Association of America. All of the apps I am presenting are on the Apple and Play stores. I'll highlight a few of the apps I tried, and you can look up the website for a full list. The first app I tried was Breathe to Relax, designed by the National Center for Telehealth and Technology. It is a customizable breathing app, and some of the highlights include customizable background, music, inhale time and exhale time, charts to map personal progress, reading material, and a video demonstration. The breathing session lasts about 5 minutes and is best used alone in a quiet setting. Next, Pacifica. This app has a lot of content. It has meditation exercises, health articles, a goal tracker, mood tracker, hope board, charts, and more. Additionally, you can try a premium meditation exercise every day. The base version on this app is free, and then there's a premium version available for monthly, yearly, and lifetime fee. I just have the base version, and I think it's fine for my uses. And finally, the last app I tried was Happify. This app is definitely the most personalized app because instead of completing a general anxiety track, you can choose to focus on different parts of your life. In addition, when you start the app, you fill out about a 40-question survey to help the app determine what tracks would be best for you. This app is more geared towards adults, but you can easily use it if you're a teenager. The app is more game-based, but there's a lot less you can do unless you have premium, unlike Pacifica. In addition, after completing the activities once, they are locked. And these next couple slides to end the presentation are just further resources. I'm not going to read through them all, but you can just look at them. I'll just hold each slide for about 5 to 10 seconds. The difference between workbooks and books is that books on this list are memoirs or regular books about anxiety. Workbooks will have activities and spaces for you to write in. They might have an additional anxiety test for you to take. Websites. The first one on the list is where you will find the list of mental health apps. For these hotlines, if you are living in a country outside of the US, you may not be able to use these because some of these are US specific. And some of you may have noticed by now the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. They also specialize in helping people with anxiety if they need to talk. And these are the sources I used. So if you want to look further into anxiety, you can look at some of these. And I would like to give a shout out to callherhappy.com and Dr. Burns. Those are the main 2 resources I used to compile my sample anxiety toolbox. And in conclusion, I would like to thank everyone for listening and hope that you were opened to anxiety and now know a little bit more about it. And if you have anxiety, you learn something that can help you. And I'd like to, again, thank everyone and goodbye.